We had a young teacher when I was in the 11th grade, a kind of a charismatic young teacher, and he assigned us Catcher in the Rye, and which we just devoured. I mean, this was a book that really spoke to us. And then one day, the principal came and had us all pass up our copies of Catcher in the Rye and told us to forget that we'd ever seen this book. And we learned fairly quickly that this had been, the book had been banned by the school board. And this turned out to be a real learning experience for all of us, because we learned a lot more than we would have learned if we'd just been allowed to read the book. Because this way, of course, not only did we read the book, but everybody in the school suddenly wanted to read the book. In fact, my friends and I went to New York, bought cartons of the book and sold them right outside the school grounds, because suddenly all of these thick-necked jocks, wanted to read. What's that? You got that Catcher in the Rye book? Eh? You got it? I hear that's really, hot stuff. My favorite teacher in high school, the head of the English department, he taught the senior honors class, and the big thing every year for him was that he taught Brave New World, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. That was the kind of high point of the year, of senior year in English. Well, that book got banned by the school board, and there was an enormous fight over it, and it was kind of my first experience with this sort of rebellion and a kind of political rebellion, where I did feel that I had adult allies. We all wore black armbands to school to protest the banning of this book, and it was just a wrenching experience for this teacher whom we loved so much, who saw his livelihood threatened and his everything, his whole life thrown into question by this horrible controversy. And it was the school board. They were kind of yahoos on the school board who had read a dirty word in a book, or who had read a flyer from some organization saying that this book was communist, or this book was radical, or this book questioned Christian values, that sort of thing. And suddenly the book would be yanked.